Hello, I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amberlicious.
and we're here for another fun-filled Loki review. This is the fourth episode. Two more to go. This one was
Spoilers, spoilers,
called
spoilers. The
the
Nexus event.
mm-hmm a little bit longer than last episode.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. We talked about it a couple times already, but I can't remember exactly which um, nerd site, whatever. The only ones I subscribe to on Twitter are like IGN, GameSpot. For some reason, I still subscribe to CBR. Um, One of them gave this episode a 5 out of 10, saying that and so we watched this episode, and I went in not really having any great expectations or anything. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my number out of the way on this one. This was an 11 episode, hands down. This answered so many questions, and at the same time,
Proposed so many more.
yeah, we finally got to see the timekeepers, who ended up being spoilers, major spoilers for not only Loki but probably the MCU going forward.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. The two Lokis end up getting rescued. Well, I guess rescued isn't the exact term. This is the main thing, the only thing that bugged the shit out of me during this episode.
Spill it.
We never got to see a resolution of the big cliffhanger from 2 weeks ago. The whole, oh my God, she sent these bombs through the different timelines. Now we've got branches like crazy.
It didn't explain how they were fixed.
They didn't even acknowledge that it ever happened.
Well, no, they did show the timeline again, and it was still not completely stable. Granted, there weren't any branches, but you can tell it was wiggly.
But what the hell happened?
I explained it to you. They didn't explain it in the show, but I explained it to you. All they gotta fucking do is reset it. That's all they gotta do. Go put another resetter out there, wherever it fucked up at, and just reset the whole thing. That's all they have to do.
I guess. It seemed like such a huge deal at the end of that episode, and then to not even have it addressed.
Oh, yeah, it sucks.
Over the next two, I really was bothered by that.
I agree.
You should never do that in a show.
Overall, they should have at least acknowledged it and been like, we had to go do this.
Yeah.
It took 2 sentences, about 10 seconds worth of airtime.
It was like there was an episode a few years ago where Arrow and the Flash teamed up. Mm-hmm. And it was like one of those two-parters. Like part one was Arrow, part two was the Flash. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Mark Hamill, I think, played the villain. I think that was the episodes. Mm-hmm. And, the villain was just being a major pain, just constant. And then finally, towards the end of the second episode, they were like, all right, we know where he is. Let's go get him. And you're like, yeah, this is going to be the big battle, When it came back from a commercial break, the villain was in a jail cell, and they were standing there shaking hands. Yeah, we got him. And I'm like, wait, you mean we built up for like an episode and a half to this big battle? Skip the battle or skip them bringing him in or whatever and just skip right ahead to the, hey, we got him, good job. I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened here.
That is my only complaint. But this episode was still an 11 to me because everything that happened shouldn't be dragged down by that one hiccup.
Absolutely.
No matter how bad that hiccup was, in my opinion, this was a fantastic episode.
It's like that big hiccup makes the show, the series overall probably brings it down to like a 9.
Yeah.
But as for this individual episode, I give this episode 11 too.
And if it keeps going at this pace, we'll probably have forgotten about that little branch issue. Because there's a lot of cool stuff happening. We've got 2 more episodes to go.
So they figured out, that they figured out that the TVA people are All variants.
Yep.
With past lives. Every one of them.
We got that idea last episode.
We got the proof this episode.
Yeah, but everything 100%, we're starting to have individuals, like, here's the thing, this episode did answer the question, however, that when they hit somebody with that pruning stick that dissolves them, they don't actually die. They actually are teleported somewhere else, and we don't quite know.
We just know what happened to Loki.
Yep, Loki ended up getting hit at the end, and he wakes up, and there's what look like 3 other Lokis there. Yeah. One is very obviously a Loki. The other 2 are a little less so.
Yeah, they're just little hints of Loki.
But now it makes me wonder, are there Loki variants fixing other areas? Like, whereas they're at the actual TVA, these Lokis are wherever the hell it is that they get transported to, taking care of business there.
Yeah.
You know, and like...
There are so many questions.
Yeah.
But it was still really cool.
We finally got to see the Timekeepers. That was the big thing. Like, I thought was really cool. And they came across as really cool. And they all very obviously are dressed like Kang the Conqueror. Yeah. So the question of these things were robots, it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz type thing.
It's like I told you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
So they had that.
It was just they were just figureheads.
But now the question that Loki has is, well, if these guys are fake, who created the TVA? That question, in my personal fanboy opinion, is Kang the Conqueror. I really do think that he's it. It could be something completely different, but I think I don't even think they'll answer that question.
It's evil, Loki.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen the end of the TVA.
No.
After this series.
There's too much going on down there.
Yeah.
Too much. It's
you don't get rid of something like that.
It's a pretty elaborate project.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth?
You don't get something like that and destroyed in 2 episodes. There's going to be some stuff going on with them in the future, kind of like the whole, spoiler, Sharon Carter being evil. That's going to carry on going forward. I think the TVA might not even be called the TVA.
Who knows?
Later.
Sharon Carter might be running TVA for all we fucking know.
That might be the case. I'm not going to put money on that.
I ain't going to put money on it either, but hell, I don't know at this point what it could be. I mean, fuck.
And I've been watching like some theory videos and stuff having to do with the first couple of episodes, and one of the things that they mentioned in the little cartoon in episode 1 was that the multiverse has existed before, and they brought it all together into one. I really don't think that a multiverse happening again is really going to be that big of a thing. I think that the TVA, whoever they work for, has an idea of how they want time to go, and they're just kind of manipulating things to
go in their favor, I'm sure.
To go in somebody's favor.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Kang the Conqueror, but
You say Kang the Conqueror, I'm like, Sharon Carter's doing it.
Yeah. But I don't know. We really don't know. There could be like all this Kang stuff.
I'm making jokes. He's for real in his though.
This Kang stuff could be a curveball. Like, hell, it might be Galactus. You never know. I mean, that would be pretty messed up. It would probably piss a lot of people off, but you never know.
You do never know.
But anyway, God, there was like so much stuff
Loki
going
falls for his feminine presenting self.
Hey, you know what? I could see that happening.
It's true.
I mean, if I were to meet like the woman version of me, like I'd be like, look, you're from a different timeline. I don't know what we're gonna call this, but it's gonna happen once.
That tells you everything you need to know about Lonnie right there. Honestly.
Probably shouldn't have said that on the stream.
Yeah, no, you absolutely should have said that on the stream. Oh. Well, I mean, they pointed it out, like, God, you're really that big of a narcissist that you fall for yourself. You know? Which is probably true. You know?
Not necessarily, I think. That whole thing, I mean...
It's true in this case. I'm not saying in every case that would be a thing.
Like, I feel like I needed maybe a second viewing or at least like a 30-minute breather to really be able to process
everything. Yeah.
So much happened in this episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if we covered everything. It showed the background of Sylvie, and God, that was traumatic. They took her as a child.
Yeah, they
it's
just
like,
popped up.
Why on earth would a child disturb the timeline so much that you gotta take? Nah. See, that right there lets me know that this is it. It's not sacred timeline bullshit. It's, I need to take this person out because it serves me. That's what that. And the woman that's in charge of everything knows why.
Okay, so we've already established that you don't have to look like Loki per se to be a Loki.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be interesting if every single variant was a Loki?
You know, I thought about that while we were watching this, and especially at the end when we saw the other Lokis.
Yeah.
I thought, what if they're all Lokis?
Everybody.
And they just don't remember.
That would be a big reason to call the show Loki.
Right. But also, though, like, you know, it showed the other people's past memories, and they weren't Lokis.
Yeah, that's true.
But thought did cross my mind.
Yeah.
If they're all Lokis, you know. But now we know. There probably are some Lokis running around there.
Maybe they've seen, maybe whoever's in charge or whatever has seen a future where the Lokis take down the TVA and they're trying to round them all up.
That was another thought I just had right now.
But
actually,
then,
right as you said it, I was thinking it. Because it just makes sense as to that would explain why they picked her up as a child.
Yeah.
Because she might be the one to fucking destroy everything. And that's just it. They thought, oh, she's a child, we'll take care of her easy. And then she bit the girl and ran off.
It's going to be one of those instances where they've tried to prevent it, but in doing so caused it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe.
Well, because sometimes, no matter how hard you try, fate's going to happen. If it is really meant to be, it is still going to occur. No matter how much you try to change it or whatever, it's still going to happen.
Still end up happening, just in a different way than it was originally.
Yeah, just in a different way.
There's a lot of that in time travel that you see a lot of times. The book 11/24/63 was pretty good. Talking about, you know, time has its thing that it's going to do, and it'll fight back if you try to change it too much. So yeah, I could see that kind of being a thing here. But anyway, anything else? Holy crap.
I think we covered everything.
I feel like really, if I wanted to, we could sit and talk for another hour.
Yeah, that's how good of an episode, and how much unraveled in this episode.
I don't see how anybody could not like this episode.
I don't either. Somebody was just hating.
Even if somebody, I think, was nitpicking, I don't think that would knock this down any further than like an 8.5 or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm really being hard on the episode at that point. Like, really just filing through, trying to find some issues.
Like you pointed out the only issue with the series.
Yeah.
And otherwise, this has been a great series. It really freaking has. So, but anyway.
I've enjoyed this series more than WandaVision so far. Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, because that was really good.
But really, I think in my...
WandaVision pulled a lot at the feels.
Well, and...
This is a different show. This is like, we're getting ready to hit this next phase.
You really gotta pump the gas a little.
That's what they're doing. They're pumping the gas a little.
I'll be
showing the timekeepers was fake.
I'll be like totally honest on this one. The biggest reason this show ranks above WandaVision on my list is the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. And the black and white episodes, they were neat, they were funny, they were entertaining, but I could literally erase those from history and I wouldn't miss anything.
Yeah, you don't miss any of the storyline.
Yeah.
Right.
Because all the important stuff
happens
they covered, even the important stuff that happened in those episodes, they covered in the 3rd episode when it shows them watching it for the first time. You're seeing it from their point of view. So.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, well that's it. We'll be back for next week. We got 2 more episodes to go. Can't wait.
Yay.
I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
We are Untitled Nerd Network. We'll see y'all for the next Loki review.